Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday night live stream. And I see the chat has been lively. Carrie's here. Oh, yeah, been drinking the Rubio's tea. So I'm glad that that's working out for you. Dyson's saying good evening now that he's recognized that I'm talking in the studio downstairs. So let's see, 331 days for no coffee or caffeine. Good for you, Carrie. That year's coming right up. So let's see. Yeah, and Carrie is also experimenting because he doesn't have an ice cream machine. So I look forward to seeing how that works out in the morning. It sounds like a great way to do it. Let's see, Attila, our awesome moderator and best companion ever. Hey, Jen, yeah, and Merry Christmas to all of you as well, for those of you who celebrate Christmas. Hey, Brenda, good to see you tonight. Let's see. Oh, and Leanne is here and Rickwin is here. Marianne has joined us. Lots of good mornings. Exchange Student 2 is here. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like that's it for the moment. So, oh, I forgot what I was thinking, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start with brewing the coffee. And then we'll see if Visual Keto gets to join us, but if not, they'll catch the replay. Oh, thanks, Carrie. It's got polar bears and upside down Christmas trees. I'm not sure why the Christmas trees are upside down, but I dig it. It's actually like super, super, super soft t-shirty material. So when a friend of mine found them at Walmart, and because they were so soft, we bought a couple versions of it. Hey, the warden, good evening. Almost done eating. Now, what I've got tonight is a Verena Street, and this is Julian's breakfast blend. This was sent to me by Visual Keto, one of our subscribers. It smells really nice. And it's a local roaster in Iowa. And we can talk some of that. I looked up their information, learned quite a bit about it. And I'll talk to you about why breakfast blend was actually a really amazing coffee to send to me. But first, let's get it brewing, and then let's talk about our stuffed mushrooms for the evening. Let's see. And I'm using the V60 because I figure coffee from a friend deserves the best and favorite brew. Okay, now maybe the AeroPress, but not for regular coffee. That's a more espresso grind. So let me just get this in there. Get my little hole right in the center to get it started for blooming. Hey, Hungry Heath, glad you could join us. I love A Christmas Story, and that is my favorite scene when he's like, so, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals, and keep the change. And you know what? I used to really love just a plain cheese pizza, but now I like other things. So, and Carrie's making a mushroom joke. So we start and do just the regular thing. Where we start with a little brew to bloom, and we're gonna put it just a little bit right in the middle, and then we'll let it sit for a minute. So with this, because I'm trying to breakfast blend, which kind of sounds like you should have it for breakfast, but actually it's great for all times of the day. If you're caffeine sensitive, that's a lie, because it actually tends to be a little bit boosted in caffeine, because breakfast blend coffees tend to have a high roast temperature for roasting on the beans. And Verena Street actually follows a high temperature sort of procedure for their brewing. I looked it up so I would get a feel for them and the coffee beans themselves. They actually start with a low temp and bring the internal temperature of the beans to 400. So instead of coating their beans with an oil, they're using the temperature to draw out the oils and have the beans start to expand and crack. That also brings the beans they're called coffee beans, but technically it's a fruit. And so, but that temperature change also brings the sugars in the coffee bean to the surface and makes that oil coat and also That's why they get a greasy look to the beans. So I will also tell you so, and by the end of the roasting, they're usually approaching the 500 degree temperature, although you wouldn't want it to go all the way to 500 degrees Fahrenheit because then it would be burnt. And then after it hits the high temperature, then it's cooled by sitting in the air to stop the roasting process. So they are not coated. These are naturally, the oils are naturally brought forward. And I see Gigi's here has joined us, so it's good to see you. I'm glad that everybody has joined us. And Beyonce, she's from Iowa, and has had this coffee. So let us know which blends you've liked, and I'll let you know what I'm thinking of it tonight. I thought since we've done tasting and we've talked about some of the stuff before, we would just go ahead and do like a review taste, where like when we do Cheese Friday and we talk about hardness, color, flavor, and all of that. So when you're doing coffee tastings, you actually have some procedures to it. You're looking for the acidity, body. So sometimes when you drink some coffees, they're real watery in your mouth, and then other times it feels really hearty, and that's breakfast blend should a good breakfast blend should be very hearty. That's why a lot of people in the morning when they have their coffee feel very satisfied, because it's got a lot of body to it and texture in your mouth. We've talked about that a little bit when we've talked about the slurping too. And then of course aftertaste. So the flavor lingers a bit in your mouth after you swallow it. And so with a breakfast blend, you should have a nice aftertaste. Should be pleasant. Shouldn't be bitter, tart, or maybe a little tart, because breakfast blend should have a good bright acidity to it, but not sour or bitter. And then of course the flavor, we've talked about that a lot. We've talked about how flavors, are sometimes they're nutty, sometimes it's fruit forward, sometimes it is a pungent flavor. All of that comes from not only just the types of beans they are, where the regions they're grown, how you brewed it. So there's a lot of variability there. Breakfast blends should have a lot of that bright acidity. So, but also at the same time, because it's should have a lot of body to it, it would also have maybe a good nuttiness to it, but really fruity and acidity to it. So you're looking for like that lemony sort of brightness to it. So, it would be good for a disco coffee. And I think those are the main key pieces for the breakfast blend. So there's our quick nerd lesson, and now it is fully bloomed. And so we can go ahead and do our first pour. I'm going to need a couple pours because I put a lot of coffee in here. But this is the V60 with the tab, so we can hold it and let it sit for a minute or so to develop. Set my measure. We'll go ahead and give it a little stir. You do a couple to the left and then a couple more the other way. We're doing it good and proper. We want to give it every opportunity to be the best it can be. But we'll let that go, and that should be delightful. The crema is really nice. It is really dark. Now, I'll tell you that breakfast blends also are usually on the lighter side of the roast. This breakfast blend says it's a medium roast, so that's as much roasting as you would want for a breakfast blend. It smells nice. And you can kind of smell like that little bit of acidity on the back end to it, because it starts off like real nutty, and then it has that little bit of tart on the behind end of the sniff to it. So, and for the warden, I'll give it a squeeze and waft it up into my nostrils there. It's really good. So we'll set that aside. But you should know you should be able to order this online too. So if you want to try the Iowa coffee, it's pretty good. You can order it right online and they'll ship it. So it's pretty cool. Julian's breakfast blend. So I'm going to go ahead and release it to begin its drawdown. so that I can do the second pour. And it is pretty hearty. Hey, Swan, good to see you here. Nice that you could join us this evening. Oh, and Brenda says her favorite from her local roaster is the house blend. Who's your favorite local roaster? When it comes to the local, I'm a real fan of Silverbridge down here in the Columbus area. Let's see. And this is going pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and do another pour of the water and let it just continue. Good and sturdy for tonight. And Carrie mentions that breakfast blends are very full of caffeine. That's correct. So they're nice if you are a caffeine person that's not impacted heavily. And then so in the afternoon, they're really lovely. Paired with an afternoon pick-me-up of that 10-minute power nap. So, but if you are not a caffeine person, you want to not have the breakfast blends. The drawdown is working its way through. And I will just move this forward and let it sit. And I will talk to you guys a little bit here. You guys should be more chatty in there. I don't have a lot of comments. But while I still have to lean in, did you guys notice that I'm not leaning in as much? The most exciting thing, after using this software for about a year now, I figured out how to increase the font size. The only problem is that it truncates it a little bit. By the way, I'm treating myself to sparkling water this evening. It's grapefruit. So, set that aside here. And Brenda says, Grounds for Thought here in Bowling Green is their favorite. They've been friends with the owners for years. Oh, okay, that's cool. I haven't actually tried their coffee. They're not usually up here at the festivals. It would be nice if I run across them. I'm going to pick it up and try it, though. I always want to try stuff like that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that in addition to the coffee that I got from Visual Keto, I got a packet of the chili lime seasoning from the Hungry Heat channel. And it's inside the can, Carrie, the lights, because it would reflect into the bubbles, hence the sparkling water. And I do miss some of the comments, Carrie. I pay attention, but I'm also talking, so sometimes I do miss them. But it's not a personal thing. It's just, honestly, it's laziness on my part. But so I got chili lime seasoning, and in one of the groups, I don't even remember which one, someone asked, it might have even been a live stream, what do you do with chili lime seasoning? And I wanted to say there are tons of things you can do with it, even on keto. You can sprinkle it on, traditionally, we used to like it on, you know what, no sorries. I just wanted to let you know that, there's no personal problem or anything there. So chili lime seasoning, traditionally, we used to put it on fruit. Like, it's awesome on, like, watermelon or mangoes. And I wouldn't hesitate. Every so often, like in the summer when the peach truck comes through town and it's that season, I'll even indulge in half a peach. Chili lime on the peach, fantastic. But if you're keto, chili lime seasoning is fantastic on jicama sticks. Oh, hey, Reindeer Slayer, good to see you. Jicama sticks, cucumber slices, put it on your warm pork rinds, and it is excellent on seafood, especially shrimp for those of you who can enjoy shrimp, but really good on white fishes like cods. Chili lime is spectacular on cod and bass. So those are just some ideas on things you could do. Oh, Carrie, you're right. Cantaloupes are good, and that's another thing. I would eat a slice, a small slice, or a couple chunks. But no, not a lot. You can't have a lot of it. I don't think chili lime's so great on strawberries, though. I will say that's probably not the best use. Oh, and Hungry He says you could dust it on the Keto Chow peach ice cream. Yes, absolutely. So, all right. So those are just a few of those things, and I'm super grateful. I've really loved all of the seasonings that have been made by Shelly and Heath. They're fantastic. Okay, my coffee is ready. So let me just take this off. Set it over there. I feel like I could just drink it out of the beaker, but I don't want to. I don't want to be that way. I'm going to go ahead and pour it right into my cup. Perfect. And that can sit and rest. Oh, Brenda said that sounds good. And also, Bian says she uses the chili lime seasoning and quick pickled red onions. Ooh, that's a great idea too. I'm gonna steal that. Actually, ooh, I love fermented and pickled radishes. I bet it would be great in that radish fermentation too. Thank you. Great idea. Mm. It is a great breakfast blend. It's definitely roastier than some other breakfast blends, but yes, I can see enjoying this. We are gonna love this. So hopefully Visual Keto catches the replay, because thank you. Although they sent me a second flavor too, so we'll try that one next Sunday. Mm. Oh, it's good. Okay. I must focus. I'm gonna let that rest for a minute. Let's talk about these stuffed mushrooms. I called these Uber stuffed mushrooms, even though these are small ones. I didn't have giant mushrooms, and there was no way I was going to the store when I had these really extra tasty baby bellas. And so they will be perfect. But what's going to make these great is that I'm going to have extra filling. These have everything in it. Except, well, there is some chili in my sausage. But you start with a block of softened cream cheese. Oh, and Carrie's having his Rubio's tea with us. Nice. So, and then I have about a half a cup of bacon crumbles. So we're just going to toss that in. Then I have about a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. That goes in. Then I have about 3/4 of a cup of shredded Parmesan, not the grated kind from the can, the shreds that are, little sticks. I'm going to put about 1/4 of it into this mix. You can use the grated in the mix, but you need the shredded, and I'll show you why at the end. Oh, Carrie, that's a funny one. It says the mushrooms won't be able to eat anymore because they'll be stuffed. So the other thing I have ground sausage. This is a spicy sausage because I used garlic and red chili peppers. And then it also has a little bit of sweetness to it because it's got a fennel and sage in it. And the sausage itself was ground pork with bacon ground into it as well. So I'm going to mix that in. There we go. And I did cook the sausage ahead of time. It's important. Now, I see people throw this away all the time. And I wanted you to know, when you take the stems out of your mushroom caps and you wash them off and you dried them with a paper towel, take your stems, and I just whiz these up in my little bullet blender. That will bring some extra moisture to your filling and boost up the umami in it. And also bring forward that mushroom flavor and highlight it a little bit more. Most people will tell you to spritz your mushrooms with oil. I did not do that. You certainly can. It's a personal preference, but I find that there's enough moisture in the mushrooms, and then you also have the cheesy filling. I just don't do that. But I will tell you, this is also a fairly dry filling because It's only the one block of cream cheese with all the filling stuff that I added in there, but it's totally fine because all of those cheeses will melt and bring the fillings in together. Gosh, I sort of feel like this would be a great cheese ball too. Oh, Brenda says she likes the stem idea and is going to use that next time. Yeah, I don't know why people don't remember to do that, or where it came from that they needed discarded. I'm sure there's a reason, but I clean my mushrooms pretty thoroughly. So, yeah, I mean, you do want to make sure that you're cleaning your mushrooms because they are grown in, well, in dirt, and they always come a little bit dirty. Hey, Susie. Oh, first time joining the live. Well, I'm glad to see you here. I'm making the mix for my stuffed mushrooms. We already brewed the coffee, and I talked about breakfast blends. So you might want to go back to the replay if you're interested in breakfast blend coffee. But otherwise, I will repeat that I put a block of softened cream cheese, half a cup of bacon crumbles, 3/4 of a cup of homemade sausage crumbles cooked. It was a fennel sage red chili garlic sausage. So, and the ground up stems from the mushroom caps. So, and the thing is I know that I'm making way more filling than I have for mushrooms here. Don't worry, it won't go to waste because I also have some of those mini little I don't know, they're not bell peppers, but they're not hot and spicy chilies. They're just little peppers, and I thought that tomorrow I might make some eggs and then have like those peppers stuck with some of this filling and use that. But I don't know, but now I'm thinking about how it would be a nice cheese ball. Everything is all cooked. Maybe I'll just eat it with pork rinds. I don't know. You never know. But I would not hesitate to take this as a cheese ball to a party. All right, it's all combined. So every bite will have some. I'm going to take another drink of coffee is what I'm going to do. Yeah, these are baby bella mushrooms. I actually at the store I had been hoping to buy shiitakes, but the only shiitakes they had just didn't look good. So, I'm also going to preheat the air fryer to 350. I say, except for none of these are 350, so give me a second to adjust it. And I'm going to put 12 minutes, but they can take anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes. You just got to keep an eye on it. So, and we'll just get these filled. Bring my little tray over. Real easy to do. So, you know what we need to do here on this live stream? Because we've already said like several different types of holiday greetings to people, but we did not go back in time. Hello? Happy Festivus, the holiday for the rest of us. Time for the airing of grievances. I think. Oh, and Brenda, they do look like shiitakes, but they're baby bellas. So anyways, so air your grievances. Let's see what we've got. I'll go first. Oh, you can make bad jokes if you want. I love bad jokes. So anyways, my grievances, it's cold, and the cold makes my industrial ear piercing hurt. I don't have enough of these types of shirts to wear every single day in the winter. And I already ate all of the prime rib. I don't have no pizza strength today. Heath, only your top grievances. And we certainly do. We have plenty of time. There's always time. Oh, and Renee says she's been the brunt of bad jokes about deer all week. Oh. And Attila has given us the greeting that just combines everything together. I don't think they should making jokes about the deer for you, man. I saw your car. That just gotta hurt so bad. And I know that some of it is the really the cold snap, but also like 3 of my friends have posted about their basements flooding, and that's only going to get worse because now that we've had the cold snap and a big pile of snow, it's all going to melt in a few days. And that means flooding. So I'm just crossing my fingers that since we had our sump pump recently worked on, that we're going to be good. And Carrie says, we can always use time for the time we need. Awesome. And Hungry Heath is airing his grievance. His biggest is that he has not won the lotto yet. Well, get on that. I really would like it if you would win the lotto, because then you could take us on the cruise. So I may have overfilled this one a little bit. It's going to puff up and spill over. It doesn't want to stand up proper. You squish it some. That's the only downside with these. As you know, they get a little rolly. Oh, Marianne, that is a tough grievance. Marianne made reservations at Universal Studios for the weekend, and it's too cold to go to the parks. Susie is sore from exercise class and it's too cold to walk it out. And the store didn't have any whipping cream yesterday. Oh, the heavy cream. Man, it's getting harder to find the heavy cream again. And I just say, I hate that because it actually reminds me of living in Vermont and seeing, like, in our harsh winters in Vermont, we still didn't have problem with production. So I feel like it's not a production, and it's got to be the supply chain issues. I better get to filling while I'm doing all this talking because my timer just started. So let me pile these on real quick. Ah, I'm making a mess. I know, you guys are surprised, right? There we go. That's way too much filling for this little button mushroom. It's not a button mushroom. It's a baby Bella. But it's the size of button mushrooms. It's because now I'm rushing, so it's getting sloppier. Which I don't know why I'm rushing. It's not like I can't always add more time to the air fryer. It's just that I don't want to. So, there's my extra filling. Set that aside. And wipe my fingers. So let me dirty my fingers again. So the next thing is we want to go ahead and take these and try not to pull the filling off, but we're going to top it with the Parmesan. So that will get super crispy on top while the mushrooms cook. They get very rolly. So, all right. Give me a second here. I'm working on this. They're falling over. There we go. But that's why we needed to save some of the cheese to the side. It makes a lovely crust and a topping on these mushrooms. So, let's see. And Carrie says his only grievance is to why the food companies have to put all kinds of crap in our food. I know you didn't say crap, but I ad-libbed. I'm going to go ahead and add some more time on here. That way it'll last long enough. Carrie says mushroom obedience class because I'm telling them to stay. It is. It's just one of those things because they're round. So, you know. Oh, it was actually Rickwin who made that joke. So, let's see. Almost done. It'll be nice to get these in and then we can chat. So, we thankfully didn't have but a couple of power flickers. How about you all? Did everybody retain their power the whole time so far during this snap? I knew we had messages from our power company asking us to cut back on our power yesterday until 10 o'clock today to help mitigate the need to do rolling outages. Oh, hey, Visual Keto. Oh, you got caught up in the last chapter of a good book. Well, I'll catch you up here in a second. I'm about to put these mushrooms into the toaster oven, into the air fryer. This one is getting extra rolly. And I was just topping them off with some Parmesan. Shredded Parmesan. There we go. I don't know why I'm worrying about it because the minute I try to lift the tray, they're going to roll everywhere. And I'm just going to let it be a mess. It's all right because I'll scoop them off onto a plate and they'll be delicious. All right. All right. Only one rolled over. Oh, two rolled over. All right, I'm gonna leave the other one rolled over because I'll burn my hand sticking it in there. So, and Brenda says they were lucky to keep power and no frozen pipes. Oh, but you did add more insulation. Yeah, we really could use more insulation somehow. I'm not, but man, that's gonna be a fortune. I'll dust my little cheese off over here. It will just, it's a lot. So. But, hey, anyways, Visual Keto, thank you so much. I'm having the breakfast blend. Oh, and Heath, I saw that you guys lost hot water. The plumber can't get there until Saturday. That is crazy. But do you have like a great big stock pot? If you guys have that, you can put that on the stove and keep water rolling the whole time. And, combine it with using some of the water kettles for like teas and stuff. You could even, that way you can even maybe pour like a bath. And I don't know, honestly, without hot water, if you just keep it running periodically, I guess, gosh, I hate to say it, but do you guys have to go back to a hotel again? Oh. Will insurance cover that since you guys don't have hot water? I feel like hot water is really important, but I don't know if they consider it important. Let's see. Oh, and Carrie says that his church had busted hot water, but the pastor shut it off so we could have cold water and flush the toilets. Said he could fix it after the cold. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I'm ready for mushrooms now, but of course that's probably not gonna, I have to wait and be patient. So, but Visual Keto, I'm having your breakfast blend and it is really nice. It's super interesting that it's a medium roast and I'm really digging it. It's a great It's a great breakfast blend. Thank you so much. And my studio here smells great because I ground it right here just before the live stream, so that it was fresh ground. I made sure I did everything so it was like the best brew I could do with it. And I gotta say, you are right. It's delicious. So I'm looking forward to trying the other blend, but I'm gonna hold it for next week. So we did talk about the light acidity of it, and it carries all of the things that I was saying breakfast blend coffee should have. So really, it was a great recommend. Oh, and the warden says no damage, so it won't warrant a hotel. So. Oh, and Carrie says when he drank coffee before he gave it up, the medium roasts were always good. Yeah, I love a good medium roast. So it's good that there was no damage. Oh, and Hungry He says they have a bench seat in the shower, so you can have a bougie bath. Okay, hey, actually that's cool. I was just trying to think of like creative things you could do, and I don't know, but yeah, definitely the bath sounds nice because you can heat up the water and all of that stuff. But oh, I'm gonna tell you guys the adventures I shared with Carrie on the comments in one of them, but I have to say I was not looking forward to it. But I'll tell you, I was minutes away from, in the worst of our cold snap, hopping into my FJ Cruiser and attempting to go and rescue a friend of mine. He actually he does deliveries, medication deliveries to like nursing homes and stuff. And his vehicle slid off into a snowbank. And now, to be fair, love him. He is like the best person ever, but I don't know what he was thinking. He did not have his full emergency kit with him. So he was stuck, and his vehicle did not have heat. So when it got stuck, it didn't have the air flow to keep his windows defrosted. You know, it was like, it was 0 outside and then wind whipping, making it like negative 27. And I guess like all other vehicles were also slipping off and getting stuck. It was really bad. And I'll just, he mentioned that, he called for emergency services, and they basically said, well, too bad, sorry, call the tow company. And the tow company was like, it'll be several hours. And so he was going live to talk to us and be and trying to be his usual jovial self. But I'll tell you guys, I felt like I was watching a friend die, and I'm like, this is not one of my murder K-dramas. I know that it would have been very risky, but I also know that I understand that ice and 4x4 are not invulnerable. I do have some really good driving skills. I just hate to have to use them anymore. And I was like, I do have the vehicle that could, and by the time, the last live that he was doing, well, the second to last live he was doing, I just could see he was putting on that front, and I was like, I can't handle it. And I was starting to pack my bag, even though he was saying, no, I don't want people to come. I was like, to the point where he wasn't going to get that choice. I myself called like their local emergency numbers where he was, and they were absolutely useless. I was so peeved. And because it was a teeny rural town, their fire department doesn't actually have people at their fire department. So even though the fire department was right there, nobody could actually get to their fire department. Hope nobody ever has a fire during an actual time like that, because they will lose everything. Oh, and Carrie says, tomorrow we'll need our cardboard boxes since it's Boxing Day. Oh, but I'm not Canadian. No, I could just see it. He was not asking, but I could see that he was in a struggle. And just as I was just about ready to override my good sense as well as his advisory, he went live again and said, "Guess what? The tow truck said he's about 10 minutes away. I'm gonna make it," and he did, and got to shelter. We're gonna do a GoFundMe for him so that his car can get fixed and get some heat. And I have put together a little bag with some of my crocheted blankets. And I think I might pick up one of those emergency blankets, and I'm going to force him to put it in his vehicle. End of story. I cannot, so. What can you imagine? I swear, a lot of us are luckier than we deserve to be, so. This is so I can set my hot tray. I'm going to give it a check. They're just about there. I'm going to give them just another minute. Several of them rolled over, and that's okay. They will still taste delicious on the plate. Visual Keto says they wish we have all had a peaceful day, and that Carrie thought up more new jokes. And he did. He's been bringing the jokes all evening. It's awesome. But yeah, so that was horrible, and yeah, I'm just really glad, he's fine. He got home, and he sat inside, he took a nap, and here's the better news, guys. He said he recognized that one of the issues that was making it even harder was that because he had gotten really, really out of shape, so even getting out to try and do things, he knew he couldn't hike to like the exit or to one of the places where he might be able to. He said he wasn't going to do it. His back was going out, and he just couldn't. And so he's done keto before and done well, and he's like, it's going to be time to commit again after he recovers from his hypothermia and all of that stuff. So I'm determined to help him succeed, and I think that I feel like this just means that it was a sign that since we hadn't hung out in quite some time, that it's time we gotta get together some more. And my being a long-term ketowore and him needing extra motivation feels like a good opportunity. The coffee is so good. All right. All right, so you can see that some of them upended, and that's all, I knew it was going to happen. But you can also see how they got golden, and they've got a nice little crisp on the top. So they're too hot for me to bite into. I would bite in there and burn my entire mouth. But let me scoop one off. Ooh, hot. Let me scoop two off. I don't know if I can get it to the camera to give you a close-up. I'm going to slink up around, and if not, they're just going to be somewhere off to the side, and you won't see it, and I'll come back around, and you guys can tell me that was no good. But I'm going to tiptoe and see if I can get you a good view. Not as much. So that's what they look like on top. I don't know that the lighting does good for the color. They look kind of pasty on my screen, but in real life they're very golden brown, and it's got a crispy Parmesan crust. So but that's pretty much it. So that was all the exciting stories I had. I've got nothing else that's exciting. I almost finished putting together the walls that I need for OhioCon. I have one more that needs a row of Velcro on it so that I'll be able to put it over the pipe that we've got for it. So that's really good. It's a relief. We have to go buy totes. I need more totes to start packing the games. in the past, I've brought them loose and done like 9 million trips. But this year I have more responsibilities. In the past, my only responsibility has been my personal loan of the library. So I could take my time and do my setup and be real fussy and not worry about the rest. But now, because I took over the entire department, I do have to worry about the rest. So I need to do a better, more efficient job. So, and also it'll be better to protect the games in case it's snowing or raining. It also means that the hand cart will make it easier for pulling them in, because you could just stack totes on it and not have to worry about doing them in small wagon loads. So, lots of stuff to go on. This one that fell over, I feel like it needs to come to my plate. Ooh, very hot. Brenda, you're asking if I'll be all done with prep when the walls are done. I wish, but that's like the big piece that's outstanding. After that, I really just have to start packing. So we've got, I've got a couple hundred games to pack into totes, and then we can stage everything into the garage and be ready to go. So the games, I've got like 3 shelving units but they're just wire shelving. I've got a box of keto foods, like bars and stuff like that we can get into and eat and enjoy if we need them. But also other staff members, if they need a little snack or something, they're going to survive with a keto snack. I feel like Quest bars are really protein bars for everybody, not just keto people, so that'll be fine for that. Also, the Monk bars, Monk brand, I've got a box of those granola bars, so I think that'll be great. I've got 3 cases of 40 bottles of water and 2 of the great big cases of the Polar. And did I decide on what to bring for the volunteers? Kinda. I mean, they are going to get food vouchers for the food court, and there will be some grab and go stuff provided by the con. I decided that the big need really was going to be like stuff because the main hotel does not have free breakfast, and if I have somebody on my staff who doesn't have funds for breakfast or things like that, I want to make sure they have something. And literally, my family are the only ones who are keto. So I decided that I will stop at GFS and buy a box of those individual cream cheeses. And at Costco, while I'm getting the lunch meats, I will pick up also their bagels, and then I'm going to get some kind of nut butter, because I have one person who is allergic to dairy, and so I want to make sure that they can put something on a bagel and still be good. So I feel like that's going to be enough. See, I question that, but I'm one of those people, and I'm that person, I'm going to have 5 people over for dinner, so I need to have the full spread for 30. And so I just need to tame it back, though. I got to remember, I have a lot of stuff going on, so. All right. I can eat this one now. Oh, yes. Delicious, delicious. The sausage and the bacon, combined with that Parmesan and all that cream cheese, adds a large savoriness to it. And actually, this would be great with big Bellas if you had them, but these mini Bellas, it's perfect. And all of that, because portobello mushrooms do have a meatiness to them, so it also blends together with the sausage. I love stuffed mushrooms. And I will say that even before keto, cream cheese based stuffed mushrooms were my favorite. The first time I tried them was a recipe I had found that was cream cheese with ham and scallions. And that was so good that ever since then I've been playing with cheese fillings. So it was a good choice, Visual Keto, saying glad I like the breakfast one. Uh, when you get to go back and do the replay, I actually gave a rundown of why breakfast blend was a great coffee in general. So I gave some breakfast blend facts. So now, but yeah, you're right. And it puts, I don't know why it's been such an issue. And even like a couple of people that I'm real close to that are also volunteering because they just feel like helping me versus actually caring about the convention itself, which I hope to change that. I don't want them to just come because I'm their friend. I want them to come because they love the convention as much as I do. And that will happen over time. But I was like, oh, what do you think I should do? Should I do this? Should I do this? And they're like, you need to stop being crazy is what you need to do. We're grown people who can feed ourselves. And I was like, you can, but you shouldn't have to. And at that point, they know I'm gone. And they're just going to have whatever I do. But I did think that even though I personally don't care for the idea of regular bagels, I think that's going to be the right thing for a majority of my staff. I've seen them eat so much garbage, and at least it's not candy. So, who knows? We'll see. I always could change my mind too. I may just buy some more protein bars and leave it at that. So, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, and Hungry He says, sounds like I need a band-style flight case to pack them all in. That would be way too heavy, but yes. I think the totes are going to be better for us. It'll fit the boxes nicely. Oh, and Carrie says, that way playing with the cheese filling would make me great and cheesy. Always. And Reindeer Slayer says, have a great day. And I'm going to say, might be a little bit early, but I'm going to eat some of my mushrooms, put the rest away, get cleaned up for the evening, and see you all tomorrow. You guys, I hope that you had a good time, and even with the weather and everything being crazy, I hope that you had a lovely weekend. So, but I'm going to get off for the evening, and feel free to leave some comments on this video. I'll talk to you guys later. Good night. Bye-bye. And I hope that you all had great holidays. There's like a million holidays in these last 2 weeks of December. So happy holidays to everybody, whichever ones you celebrate or don't celebrate. Then, a happy Chinese food day, whatever. Enjoy. Good night, all. Bye-bye.